possibly one of the biggest industry-changing pieces of news, I would say, since, oh my God, it might be since before I was born, honestly. Like, this is huge.
I was going to say, probably in my lifetime, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the section of the show I like to call We Were Right Again.
This is, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't believe this when I read the headline, even though
I had to read it a couple of times.
It was from Variety. I was like, no, this is one of those articles somebody misdirects. And then Deadline, and then I was like, okay, this has got to be real. And then reading it, 17 days after theatrical releases, video on demand. Holy hell.
Wow. And that's with Universal. Imagine what's like, because let's be honest here. It ain't just going to be Universal who has this.
Oh, hell no.
There's no way. Like, Warner Bros. Is going to get this. I think Disney might take their time because they've been very coy on the whole thing. Like, yes, they tried it with, well, I say tried it. They've done it with Arkham Asylum, which, let's be honest, that was not going to make money anyway. That movie was horrific.
Yep.
That was bad. Waste of an hour and a half. But they've been very coy with trying with anything else. Mm-hmm. So I think they're probably going to be the last ones to do it. I could be completely wrong, and it's the other way, and they're like, no, we know these movies will make a fortune. Yeah. We want like a week, which, please, I can settle for a week. I will wait a week longer.
I mean,
just to watch it at home.
I've already seen some people that were opposed to the idea already turning on it now that it's going to happen with something. Like, I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he was like, well, I think it's kind of stupid. And I was like, so you think it's stupid that a year from now, I can invite you to my house, you come over with your girlfriend, another friend stops by, 7 of us rent it for $20, we got our own food, we can barbecue and just watch a new movie. He was like, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. I was like, yeah, that's my point. It doesn't sound too bad. Like,
yeah. So it's made me laugh because I've been pretty vocal about this from the beginning, and you got tons of crap. Tons of crap, ton of clownery. It's like, oh, stop clowning around. And it's like, as the months have gone on, more and more people are kind of realizing, like, yeah, this is going to have to be where it goes.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to really make that money right now, like, you're not going to make everything you made in like a theater or cinema. You're going to have to take a hit. But if it keeps going the way it is, which all signs point to it is, and I wonder who could have seen that one coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to have to be, you're going to have to play ball with VOD.
Yeah.
It's going to have to. It's the only way. Like, whether it's accelerated it or not, well, I imagine it has. I still think within 5 years it would have been at this point anyway. But, yeah, it was easily spotted. People just didn't want to admit it.
People don't want to give up what they're comfortable with. And exactly. They were comfortable with the old formula, and they're like, this is going to ruin, the future of cinema, and you can't do this, and it's not how it's done. It's like, they used to say that like 30 years ago. They would say that about TV. Well, you can't have an action-packed or a crime serious show on TV. That just doesn't work. You have to go and see The Godfather in theaters. And then Sopranos comes along and goes, wait, what were you saying about you can't do this? And then The Wire comes along, and then Game of Thrones, and people are like, I would rather watch these shows. I was going to say
the whole like stigma around shows like not being like, you can't have the budget for a show. A show's got to be this long. Right. Especially in the States, like, a show has to be 22 episodes. You can't have a massive budget for that long. And it's like, no, you can shrink that and have a massive like movie level budget for a show, and you get something like The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look, you can do that. Like, stuff's changing quickly, but humans are very cyclical. We like to think that, is there's 5G now? Like, we know that this is going to be bad. It's like, well, people said that with 4G, and people said that with 3G. People said that with 2G. They said that every single time. People refusing to wear masks in the pandemic. Guess what? Happened every single time.
Right. It's
you're not smart or clever right now. We've all done it.
It's like a repeating, cycle that we're in. And I want to point this out to people, as a lot of people that listen to these podcasts know, I love history. It was my favorite subject. When I took extra film, I would do extra history on the side. I loved it. At one point in history, in our real history, this might blow some of your people's minds. People would listen to the radio, and there was no TV or anything. And a person working at a newspaper said, that's interesting, but what if you missed a radio? He went to his local newspaper and pitched a column where he talks about the most recent sports and what was happening and makes predictions and opinions, and he was laughed at until a couple weeks later they were like, we're running out of columns, what can we do? So he printed the first ever highlight of the broadcast and what was happening, and that evolved to sports statistics and whole newspaper sections based on sports, which was once laughed at, and everybody said, well, you can't do that because nobody wants that. That's not how we do it. Again, we're in that same situation again. It keeps evolving. I remember my dad telling me he used to go, play arcade games. And suddenly people are like, well, you can bring arcade games home. And people are like, well, that's not how you do it. It's all about the social thing. And again, video games evolved to be where they are today. So you got to, at some point, adapt. And that's what Hollywood is doing. And they're going to keep, let's say hypothetically, they're selling the movie for $20, which is going to be, some might be 25 we're hearing. Fine. They're splitting it with AMC. It's a split cost. Even if Universal gets 70%, AMC 30%, it's pure profit for both of them.
And even if AMC take more of the actual physical ticket sales, Universal won't care because they're getting that all back on board.
Exactly.
So it's literally the win-win for the pair of them. And I don't understand. I never understand people so object to the idea. I know there's this fear-mongering that they're going to close and go away. It's like, no, they're not.
No.
They'll only go away if they are dumb about it. If you're a Blockbuster about it, or a HMV, like our only music franchise about it, then yes, you're going to go away because you've been dumb about it. If you've been smart about it, you're going to hang around. Look at bookstores. Say that every time we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
Bookstores are literally the shining beacon of hope you want. Copy bookstores. They do it physically. You got Amazon over here doing Kindle.
Yeah.
We got Google with Kindle. Everything's got a bloody ebook on it now. It's fine. People still like physical books.
Yeah.
It's like comics. People love. I've never seen something so against digital than comic books. But it's just going to happen. You have your big event movies for cinemas, which, to be honest, I only go to a cinema when there's a massive event movie. Everything else I watch at home. And if I can get more indie films at home, which are the better ones, and I can watch without, being in a fucking massive room, not full of people, but you get the stinky people in the front.
Yeah.
Then I'm happy with that. I will gladly pay £25 to watch that movie at home.
I mean,
and yes, I know the prices don't really help the solo viewer or the single viewer. It is a bit expensive in that part, but if you just get two people, literally one other person watching it with you, it's the same price. What's the matter? Or watch the movie twice. There you go. Well done. You just saved money.
Exactly. It's all going in that direction. Things are changing. This is what we've been saying here since this began. It's going to be how the future goes. And I can see WB is going to be resistive because they have directors like Chris Nolan. And they get a director like, what the hell's his name who did Joker? God damn it.
Oh, I can't remember his name. He's not worth remembering, to be honest.
Todd Phillips.
That's the one, yeah.
And, you get guys like that are like, no, we still have to shoot on film and we have to do this and our budget's got to be $500 million with advertising for some reason for this film. You get guys like that are going to be resistant to, and the studio will hold off as long as possible on them. But others, like Universal, has seen what can happen. And I guarantee you, the film like Invisible Man did so good on video on demand that was the sign. Because I want to see The Invisible Man, but I was like, oh man, it's going to be like a week in my theater and it'll be gone by then. And then suddenly everything happens and it's on video on demand. I remember I waking up and Shay's like, you just want to watch that now? I was like, yeah. Bought it, watched it right then and there. It was convenient.
I got that the first day it came out and I was like, yes. I'm happy now. This is my dream. I'm happy now. If it was all day and date, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I can settle right now for it not being day and date because obviously it's just kind of starting out. So 3 weeks, I will happily wait 3 weeks.
Oh, God, yeah. Dude, 3 weeks is nothing. That's... fine, you're missing the boom of the first conversation. cool.
Perfectly fine.
But
Perfectly fine.
You're still within the first month, and my only thing about this is I feel like Disney might try to resist it for a bit as well, because
I don't think they will.
Really?
Unless there's something like HBO thing. But that's only for Fox movies, isn't it?
Yeah, because Disney decided to start pulling all their licenses at the end of last year. Hell, they've even spent a lot of money to buy back some of those sales, so...
Because over here, Onward's still on... Yeah, you still can't watch Onward on Disney+.
Oh. Damn.
You've only just got Frozen 2.
Wow. Yeah, that's those deals.
Whether that's because of a Sky deal, I assume it is. But it's kind of like, I want to watch Onward.
Yeah.
I kind of resent paying for it when the States got it free on Disney Plus within 2 weeks. I'm like, no, Disney.
Yeah.
I'll put my foot down on this one time. I think WB and Disney will... I think Warner Brothers actually... I think Scoob did pretty well.
I mean, yeah, I think so too. And to be honest with you, I think Paramount is going to announce it next. They're going to be the one to follow Universal. And then the other two will be like, so guys, pressure's on you now. Come on. Like,
you watch Universal put, not Universal, Paramount put like Fast and Furious on there. Or whoever has Fast and Furious. Like, that's the next one.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy.
But what I want to know as well, this is only with AMC.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens with everyone else? Like AMC, just like the be all and end all. I know they're the biggest in the States, but like there's more franchises than AMC. So how does it work with other ones? Like, does it get pulled from every other chain because it's not an AMC?
Yeah, that's a good. Huh.
That's my only question, because it's like, what is AMC? I know what it is, but it's more like, do they think they're everything? Are they like the cinema group or something?
Right, yeah, because that is an interesting one, because again, like, how big are they? And I'm looking right now, they own...
I think they're like the biggest.
Yeah, 1,000 theater locations owned by them.
Yeah, so that's like a quarter of all the states.
Mm-hmm.
Like a fifth, isn't it? Nuts. But it's... I don't know, because they haven't said what's going to happen. Like, how does it work with the rest of them? Do like the smaller chains just carry on as normal, and they haven't got a say in it, or do they just go, "All right, well, movies are only a nice thing for 3 weeks now. Oh, goodbye."
Yeah, that's
nuts. If that's the case,
I mean,
that's nuts.
Well, that's the thing. Like, let's say your Regal theaters, right, which are another big chain here in the United States. Like, what do you do? Because you're clearly going to lose sales. Like, it's definitely going to happen. Like, and if you're agreeing, like, let's say you're Regal and you're like, okay, fine, I'm going to show the next Jurassic World because that's going to be one of upcoming Universal's films. Great, that's cool. Okay, but what benefit do you get when it releases on video? Oh, you don't. Like, and you still got to pay for the reel, and you're splitting up your theatrical take with the studio. Like, I think this is going to lead into an interesting direction. And remember, there was a rumor that AMC could be sold to somebody. Is Universal going to possibly swoop in?
Yeah, I reckon that AMC aren't going to last. That's another thing with this deal. It's all well and good they've signed it. Is AMC going to survive?
Yeah.
Because the way it's going, I don't think they are. I don't think in many places. So it might be one of those like, oh yeah, we signed the deal, but they're gone. We haven't got to honor it. So, no, we'll do what we want anyway.
Exactly.
But it's an interesting time. It's definitely one worth keeping up with, because it's probably like the biggest single thing to happen.
Yeah.
Like, edit-wise, for a few generations now.
Yeah, this is like the next biggest thing next to when they announced that like VCR and Beta were going to be fighting for each other. It's like, oh wow, you're going to be able to bring these home to watch? What? That's insane. Like, yeah, it's pretty
Now you
big.
haven't even got to move. It's just there.
Yeah, it's just there. It just happens to be there. Convenience, I guess.
Very quickly, that Wall-E future's happening.
Oh yeah, it is.
Out on floating chairs, and I for one welcome it. Personally, I welcome my chair overlords, to be honest.
We're all going to look like Professor X in his gliding chair. Ooh, just hover across the floor. It's going to be good.